Ever wondered where Canadians come from? It's not a simple answer. The story of Canada's origins is a rich tapestry, woven from ancient traditions, massive waves of migration, and centuries of cultures blending together. Long before the name Canada was ever on a map, this vast northern land was home to a diverse array of indigenous peoples. Their histories stretch back thousands of years. These were the First Nations, the Inuit, and the Métis communities. They didn't just live on the land, they shaped it and were shaped by it. They developed sophisticated knowledge systems, vast trade networks, and deep spiritual traditions intimately tied to the natural world. In every sense, they were the first Canadians. From coast to coast to coast, these indigenous nations were incredibly diverse. Along the Pacific, vibrant communities thrived in cedar forests, famous for their magnificent carved totem poles and longhouses. In the Arctic, the Inuit showed incredible ingenuity, creating tools, kayaks, and igloos that allowed them to flourish in one of the world's harshest environments. On the Great Plains, the bison was central to the economy and culture of peoples who lived a nomadic life in portable taipas. These groups weren't isolated. They traded, formed alliances, and maintained unique languages and customs that are still alive and well today. Their enduring presence is the very foundation of Canadian identity. Then, starting in the late 15th century, a new chapter began. European explorers like John Cabot and Jacques Cartier arrived, searching for new trade routes and riches. These voyages kicked off centuries of contact between Europeans and indigenous peoples. Sometimes it was peaceful. Other times, tragically, it was violent. France was the first to establish major settlements, primarily along the St. Lawrence River. There, French explorers and fur traders built crucial relationships with indigenous nations, depending on their guidance and expertise to survive. Over generations, these French settlers developed their own distinct identity, rooted in Catholic traditions, tight-knit farming villages, and the unique dialect that would evolve into Quebecois French. By the 18th century, British influence was on the rise, especially after the Treaty of Paris in 1763, which saw France cede most of its North American territory to Britain. This opened the floodgates for English-speaking settlers, farmers, soldiers, merchants, and loyalists fleeing the American Revolution poured into the colonies. Their arrival added another major layer to Canada's identity, establishing English common law, parliamentary government, and a society shaped by British cultural values. The coexistence, and sometimes tension, between these two major European groups, French and English, became a defining feature of the emerging nation. But there's another crucial group we can't forget. The Métis, a distinct indigenous people born from the unions of indigenous women and European men, mainly French fur traders. The Métis developed their own unique culture, their own language, called Michif, and a powerful sense of nationhood. They played a vital role in the fur trade and the settlement of the Canadian prairies. Their story is absolutely central to understanding the roots of Western Canada. As we move into the 19th and early 20th centuries, the picture gets even more complex. Canada's population began to diversify dramatically. Waves of immigrants arrived from all over: Ireland, Scotland, Germany, Ukraine, China, and India, just to name a few. Chinese laborers were instrumental in building the Canadian Pacific Railway, a monumental feat of engineering, though they faced terrible discrimination. Black Canadians, many of whom were descendants of people who escaped slavery through the Underground Railroad, built resilient communities in Nova Scotia, Ontario, and across the West. Later on, newcomers from the Caribbean, Africa, the Middle East, and Asia added even more languages, religions, and traditions to the Canadian mosaic. So, when Canada officially became a country in 1867, its population was already a reflection of this incredible blend: deep indigenous roots, a dual French and British colonial heritage, and the growing influence of global migration. Today, Canadians trace their origins to every single corner of the globe. This has created a modern multicultural nation that is built on diversity, coexistence, and continuous evolution. The story of Canada isn't about a single origin. It's a story of many origins converging, a story that is still being written every day by the people who call this place home. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories about our shared history.